What's up, guys? Want to welcome everyone to this clinic here. My name is Jimmy Robertson. I'm the head football coach at Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey. Appreciate everybody coming in for this talk here today and this presentation. I'm a New York native myself, still actually live in New York. So when Coach Sirico over at Warwick and then one of my college coaches, Coach Barber up at Holy Trinity up in the Albany area, asked me to hop on board with this clinic, I couldn't have said yes fast enough. So I want to thank them for asking me and honored to be a part of this, as a New York guy through and through. As I said, even though I'm in New Jersey now coaching, I still live in New York. So today we're going to get into our air raid pass game. But before we do that, we're going to talk about our fast 5-star system of success, how we use that overall system as our program to tie into creating our offensive system. From there into our air raid pass game simplification, and then from there into the pass families we have, how we teach our quarterback, and then we'll get into some cross, mesh, and 4 verts, which are 3 of the staples of our pass game. The reason we're doing it in this progression is because it all ties in together, starting as a program into the offense, into the pass game. If anyone has any questions as we go throughout, please let me know, whether it's in the chat or I don't know if you guys can even just hop right in and then fire away. So our fast 5-star system of success, this ties our whole program together because to us, it's about aligning, engaging, and developing our program. So having this system, our full program understands it. It gives us clarity. Everyone in our organization knows who we are. We all speak the same language. And most importantly, that alignment allows us to engage our coaching staff and our players and allows us to develop our coaching staff and our players. Because to us, it's about aligning, engaging, developing our system and our culture, and also aligning, engaging, and developing the talent and the people in our program. And you'll see as we move throughout here, once we get into the pass game, how it all ties together. But it's the full program to the offense. And then specifically today, we're going to talk a lot about the QBs because of how much responsibility they have in our offensive system. But this systematic approach that aligns us in one direction, it's all encompassing, starts at the foundation or core values of our program, which are to be a real family. These core values, respect, energy, accountability, and love, then drive our culture. The culture then drives the rest of the organization, our standards, our styles, philosophies, our mission, our vision. Everything we do as an FDU football program ties into this system. And then specifically the on-field product. And we'll talk about our philosophies and our style of play when we get into the pass game, but it all ties in to everything that we do. And I think that's super critical, that alignment, because it's something we can rally around. Our coaches can rally around it. Our players can rally around it. Our alumni, our support staff, everyone. And I think that's critical, whether it's college, high school, youth, professional, that program alignment. Again, it's the DNA of who we are. It's the blueprint of success for us as an FDU football program. How we define it, and I think this is important. We like to define everything we do with our guys. It's a system mentality and lifestyle. All right. It's not just picking and choosing when we want to be fast 5-star. It's all encompassing. It's truly a mentality for our guys day in and day out in everything they do. So then what does fast and what does 5-star mean? We need to define that for our guys. Fast is doing it with great energy and passion. Every single thing that we do. And we're a fast offense. I talk fast. I'm a New Yorker, like probably most of you guys on this, but fast is all encompassing. It's playing fast physically. It's playing fast mentally. It's that energy and passion day in and day out, which then ties directly into our air raid pass game. And then 5-star is the relentless pursuit of greatness, the relentless pursuit of being the best we can be individually. So then collectively as a unit, the offense, or collectively as a whole, the program can be successful. Again, it's the blueprint. Again, this is a template. It can be used by any program. The levels are unique to us as an FDU football program, our culture, our standards, our styles and philosophies. But the blueprint could be the blueprint, and then you fill in what it means to you at every level. But again, this has really helped align our program in that one direction, and be more than happy to share any of this stuff with anybody, after this talk. Would love to talk more on any of this. So now we use that overall system as a program to help align and create our offensive system. And this started before becoming head coach. I became head coach here at FDU last February, so almost a year ago. Unfortunately, we haven't played a game yet, but the last year, it's really enabled us to align our program in one direction and lay that foundation of everything we want to do. But that system ties directly into what we do on the field. So two of the levels of that pyramid of success are our styles and our philosophies. And I want to talk about the styles here right now. The style is the manner of how we do things, which again is going to tie directly into our air raid pass game because it's a mentality and lifestyle. It's who we are. So the three things in our style that we want to do, we want to play instinctively, play fast, and play physical in that order. To us, the instinctive is no thinking. How can we get all of our players to play without thinking? If they do that, now they have the opportunity to play fast, physically and mentally. And if they play fast, now they have the opportunity to play physical. All right. But that's the progression we have for our guys. So how can we teach them and develop them to get them to that instinctive level? You know, because for us, it starts, again, we have that culture. Once we have the culture, we need the players. Once we have the players, now we can have the plays that, again, those are the plays now that we need to get them to play instinctively with. You know, you might be asking, why is this so important? To us, the last time we stepped foot on the field, 2019, when I was the offensive coordinator at the time, we headed into the season losing our all-time leading QB and all-time leading receiver in school history. You can see some of the things they did there. All-Americans, led the nation in receptions, our receiver. However, then in 2019, 5 years of evolving this system, we, with a first-year starting quarterback who was a transfer, so he was in this system for about 3 weeks before stepping foot on the playing field to play his first game. And in that first game, he threw 7 touchdowns, but it was because of the simplicity of it. What might look like a lot to a defense was super simple for him. And I think how we teach it allowed him to play at that fast level, fast mentally, fast physically, 3 weeks after learning the system. And then you could see some of the statistics we had the last time we played, whether it was the MAC rankings or the national rankings. We had number 1 offense in the conference, number 9 pass offense in the nation, and broke a ton of records. And the reason I'm showing that is because I think it all ties back to the simplicity of the pass game that we have and how we teach it to them. And you'll see a little bit here shortly how we do that. Within our offensive system, we have this identity. There's no mixed messages of who we are as an offense. Every person on that side of the ball, coaches, players, grad assistants, it doesn't matter, are all aligned in that one direction. Tying back into the first thing I talked about was that alignment, the engagement to develop. But again, it starts with that alignment. We know who we are as an offense. We're up-tempo, we're no huddle, we're RPOs in the run game, and we're air raid style pass game. That's who we are as an FDU offense. To us, again, there's no right or wrong answer to what's your system or identity, but I do feel very strongly that you need to have one. If you ask your players, what are you as an offense, they should be able to say A, B, C. And our guys should be able to say no huddle, up-tempo, RPOs, air raid. That's who we are, and that's how we're going to play. You know, something that's super critical to us that ties directly into the air raid pass game we have is what's balance. Again, balance to us is not 50-50 run pass. We actually probably call more runs a lot of games, but with our RPOs and the freedom we give our QBs in the run game, we throw the ball more. But balance to us is just getting the ball to the playmakers. Whether it's run, pass, inside, outside, it's making the defense cover the entire field, pre and post snap. And you'll see when we get to the clips of cross, mesh, and 4 verts, we're truly making the defense cover the entire football field. We need to attack space, attack grass. We need to look for numbers pre and post snap. And if we have numbers, we need to take advantage of it. Another thing we like to do is know the opportunities and touches that we want to get our top playmakers. You know, 2 years ago, we had the number 1 wide receiver in the nation at the Division III level, 102 catches in 10 games. We need to know every play that playmaker, was he guaranteed to get the ball? Was he the number 1 read in a progression? Or potentially the second or third read, but the most explosive read because we wanted him for that home run opportunity on that specific play? Or was he a late read in a progression? And to us, your best players, they can't be late reads and progressions more times than not. You just can't have that. You need those best playmakers to be the first read or the most explosive read. And then we track these opportunities and touches throughout the game. Again, make sure you're tracking it to see, are you getting those guys the ball like you wanted to going into the game? And then be unpredictable, take calculated risks. We like to have fun, keep the defense on their toes. So now how does that tie into our air raid pass game simplification and how we teach our QBs? Well, to us, our philosophy, create conflict, manipulate the opposition, take advantage of space and numbers, as I previously said. And I said this already, but it's really, really important for us as an offense. is making the defense cover the entire field on every play. We have to have threats throughout the entire field. We need to have 5 skill guys out on pass routes. So how do we accomplish this? How do we adhere to that philosophy on that previous slide? Well, number one, we need to make it easy to learn, okay, and hit all the learning styles of our players, because I truly believe that a lot of our players learn better than they think they learn in certain ways. Some of them think that they learn through walkthroughs. Some of them think they learn better through watching film or on the board. But a lot of times it's a different way that they truly learn. So we try to hit all those different learning styles. We also ask ourselves questions as coaches anytime we're installing a concept or a play, or you'll see how we categorize things into families. Is it sound? Can we teach it? And then can they execute it? I think the biggest one here is, can we teach it? We need to teach it at such a high level that it's so easy for them to learn that they can teach it right back to us before stepping foot on the field, especially the quarterback. He needs to be able to teach everything you do, be confident and be comfortable in everything you do before you can have him execute it at an elite level. Other things we do, we need to create time and space. And our wide receiver coach, director of recruiting, John Murphy, he does a great job of talking about time and space and how all of football breaks down to those two things, whether it's time and space in route running, receivers trying to create space to give the QB more time, whether it's in pass sets or O-line in their pass sets, creating space from a D lineman to give the QB more time to throw the ball. But everything, time and space, how can we create more of it to be advantageous for us as an offense? Again, attacking the entire field horizontally and vertically, and getting running backs out into routes. We really try to get our running back out as quickly as possible in our 6-man protection, and a lot of times in our 5-man protection, free releasing them to make them a weapon. Making your running back a weapon can really pay huge dividends for you and your offense, and it has for us the last year or two. We attack grass and open space. The philosophy of, if we're open, we're going to stay open. If we're not open, we need to get open. And you'll see how we do that with some of our concepts here that we're going to talk about this evening. And then it's simple. A lot of consistency and carryover from our RPO game to the drop back pass game. The route teaching is all the same. So that consistency and carryover for the receivers, QBs, for all positions allows us to play instinctively. So now we're not thinking when we're out there. If we play instinctively, now we can play fast, physically and mentally fast, and then we can play physical. And this fits into who we are. Going back to aligning, engaging, and developing, everything we do ties into this. It fits to who we are. It's how we practice every single day. We're going to do our dynamic warm-up. Then we're going right into pat and go, perfect drill. We're always doing routes on air. We do skelly. So we're practicing and getting a ton of reps at all the things we do, which then will allow us to play at that instinctive and fast level. So how we break down our pass game. We have pass protection families, pass concept families. It's a tag concept or not a tag concept. And then we have read progressions for the QB. And we'll get into what these mean to us, but it's very simple. It allows easy install and easy teaching, a lot of the same as teaching. So now our players can learn it quickly, efficiently, and then go play effectively. So this is our pass family library, all right? It may look like a lot. We don't go into every game. There may not even be a season where we're going with all of this stuff. However, what looks like a lot, the way we teach it, it's really not a lot, because how we break it down, everything fits into a family. So you can see all the families on the left-hand column. It's a tag concept or not a tag concept. And then we basically have 2 read progressions, a defender read and an area read. And everything we do pass-wise fits into one of those 2 reads for the quarterback. And you'll see here shortly how we define those reads and then how simple it makes it for the quarterback to play at that instinctive level. So the read progression for the QB. And I think this has been the best thing we've done over the last year or two with our QBs in developing ourselves as a program, developing our offense. I look back and I wish I taught it this way 3 or 4 years ago or 5 years ago, because I feel like I was doing a disservice to our quarterbacks at that time, not teaching it as simple as we do now. But every pass family, so that whole left column there that you just saw, every one of those families fits into one of these 2 read progressions for us. Number 1 is an area read. Number 2 is a defender read. The QB needs to answer those 2 questions on every one of those plays. What's the route progression order? and what is the QB's thought process. This allows for easy communication from coach to QB back to coach, and it's a lot less thinking for our QB, especially versus a lot of the complex defenses that we go against nowadays. So let's break it down here now. What do those mean? So area read progression. The route progression order never changes. As simple as that. He's always going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. If there's 5 guys out on the route, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. If there's 4 guys out on the route, but that route progression order never changes regardless of what the defense does. It truly does not matter what coverage they're in, zone, man. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The QB's thought process is simply yes, no. Is number 1 open? Yes, I throw the ball. If the answer is no, then I go to number 2, so on and so forth. How we get that yes answer can change. That yes answer can come from he's throwing it to open grass, to green grass. That yes answer can come from it's a one-on-one and we like the matchup. So we can get to that yes multiple ways, but it's always yes, no thought process. The second type of progression we have is our defender read progression. In this one, the route progression order can change. So now it might start at 1 and then he's going 3 to 4, or it might start looking at a defender and then it goes right to 4, 5. Again, the route progression order can change. QB's thought process is if then on all of these read progressions. So what he's thinking is if they do this, then I do that. It's a combination of pre and post snap reads for our QB. Pre-snap, he's looking at numbers potentially, depending on what family it is. If I have numbers pre-snap to one side, I'm taking it. If I don't have numbers, then I'm going post-snap to the other side. Now, post-snap, he's also going to have if-then reads. He's going to read divides and expands. A divide read is a post-snap, vertical, high-low stretch of a defender. If the defender goes high, I throw low. If he stays low, then I go high. The expand, horizontal in-out stretch. If the defender goes in, I go out. If the defender goes out, I go in. And then there could be multiple if-thens on a play. But again, these two read progressions have really simplified it for our QBs. Area or defender, does the route progression order change? What's my thought process? All of those families can fit into it. Another thing as well, you see there, when hitting the first read of any progression, it's a rhythm throw. And what I mean by that is we're a shotgun team 100% of the time. So we're going to take a quick 3 from the gun in our drop back game. So 1, 2, 3, as that third foot is, or that third step is planting in the ground, that ball should be coming out in rhythm. That will allow us to beat any blitz. We don't really talk much hot with our receivers because the QB is going to know what route is replacing blitzers. The QB knows where he's not protected. And then if he rhythm throws, he can beat any pressure that a defense brings. So now going back to our pass family library, you can see, again, the left column has a ton of different families, but it's really broken down into 2. All the ones that I'm circling here are our area reads. All of our area reads are tag concepts. So we tag one guy, everything else built in off of it. And then all of our not tag concepts are defender reads. So if it's not tagged, it's a pass play. The QB knows now it's a defender read. So really it breaks down to, yes, we have these families, but we really only have 2 read progressions for our quarterback. And today we'll get into some cross, which we call our C family because we have multiple variations in it. We'll get into our mesh family and some 4-vert family, just so you can see how we teach certain families and an area read versus a defender read. So you may ask them, what about coverage? I haven't talked about the defense or coverage at all. For us, the main focus is on us. Because how we look at it is a trained quarterback plus a system. And when I say a system, I mean a system of how we teach it to them and what we run. We think those things can beat any coverage. We have the built-in answers for man or zone. The pass families gives us the creative simplicity because it looks like a lot to a defense, but it all falls into one of our pass families. So once it's in a family, everyone knows what to do within that family. There might be 4 variations in the C family or the mesh family, but all the stuff is the same. The teaching is all the same. The quarterback's read progression is all the same. It's just a different formation, a motion, something along those lines. And then the read progression for the quarterback allows us to play instinctively. We do then, once we focus on us, then we do use coverage and we talk about defenses to accelerate reads for our QB in our air raid pass game. We talk about pre-snap alignments and post-snap movements. more so than we talk about overall structure to start. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but defenses are very good nowadays. There's times where us as coaches will watch the play 5 times and not know what the coverage is. Maybe someone on the defense just blows a coverage. So to us, we're going to look more at the alignment and the movements of defenders. We're going to study film, see if there's tendencies, and then we're really going to talk with our quarterbacks and our skill players with demeanor, eyes, and leverage. What's the demeanor of the defender? Is it a run demeanor? Is it a pass demeanor? Is he on his toes? It's a blitz demeanor. What are his eyes telling us? Man eyes or zone eyes? A lot of defenders are going to give it away. If it's zone, they're going to be looking in at the QB. If it's man, they're going to be staring at the offensive skill player directly in front of them. So that can give away answers. You might not know what type of man it is or what type of zone it is overall until you get the full picture of it post-snap, but you can really get those pre-snap indicators based on the eyes of the defender. And then we talk about leverage of defenders. And when we talk about leverage, we're really talking about what's their leverage in relation of where we need to get to win that route or to win that play. Inside leverage, outside leverage. How can we create leverage post-snap with our route running? How can we create leverage with our quarterback's reads to manipulate defenders? But demeanor, eyes, and leverage, critical for the success of us playing instinctively and winning the play. Then we talk about, if we don't know what a D is doing, how can our QB know? And that's why I think it's critical to really understand what your QB can handle mentally and physically, because he runs the show. You can see here, we throw the ball a lot in the drop back pass game. Doing so, though, allows us to practice it a lot. It gives minimal stress to our offensive line because they get a lot of reps at our pass pro. It gives our QBs a lot of reps at this stuff in practice. We also evaluate daily what our QB can handle. To us, it's his football IQ, that's the mental, plus the arm talent, the strength and accuracy of his arm, the physical talent. You add those together, now that's your pass game options. So for us, our QB, last year, 2019, the last time we played, was very talented. He has a great arm and his football IQ is through the roof. That gave us a lot of different pass options, which allowed us to be number 1 in the conference and number 9 in the nation. If we didn't have that guy at QB, we might have had to evaluate it a little bit differently and done some different things within the system. But that communication with the QB, though, again, I can't harp on that enough. We have daily communication with him. That creates that offensive alignment. We have our QBs rank the families pretty much weekly, which ones they like going against who we're playing. Because if they're not confident in a family or a specific variation within that family, mesh, cross, 4 verts, then we can't run it. We may think it's the best play in the world, but if our quarterback's not confident in running it, then it's not going to be a successful play for us 9 times out of 10. Throughout practice, again, because of what we do, we're drilling it all day. We're creating that physical muscle memory, and we're creating that mental brain memory for our QB. He should be able to spit out his reads for any one of our plays. If I say what it is, he should be able to say area or defender, what the thought process is, and what the read progression is, within about 0.5 of a second. And then this is one thing we do with our QB before we get into the plays we're going to go over today. Just going back to that communication with the QB, we do this pregame thought sheet with our QBs every week. Our coaching staff also does this. This is something we've been doing for the last couple of years now. And I think this has really allowed us to all be aligned in that one direction. Going back to how we started this presentation, that alignment, that communication. So our QBs, they do it 2 nights before the game. We'll talk about it the day before the game. So we play on a Saturday. They'll do it Thursday night. I have them text me a picture of it. I put their thoughts onto our call sheet. Goes back to if they're not confident and comfortable running it, if they don't put it anywhere on this sheet, because we have openers on here, 3rd down, red zone, 2-point plays, shot plays we must run in that game. If they put it nowhere here, 4 verts, for example, we're going to talk about that here. If they don't put 4 verts anywhere on this pregame thought sheet, QB1 or QB2, probably not a family we can run that week because they're obviously not confident and comfortable with it. And then coaches, we also do this as well. We do it independently, and then we meet about it 9.5 out of 10 times. We have all the same stuff on this, but it really creates that great conversation that day before the game just to make sure we're all on that same page. We're all aligned in that one direction heading into kickoff. So now we're going to get into our 3 of our families. So our C family, and we call it the C family because it's built on the foundational play of it is cross, your traditional cross play. Area read progression for us. So the route progression order never changes. QB's thought process is yes, no. So the first one we'll go over here, and we're going to go over two variations of cross here tonight. The first one is cross. So, and this is right from our playbook. So they can look at it. They see pass family, part of our cross family. Is it a tag concept? Yes, it is. So what does that mean? We're going to tag one player. Everyone else is built in off of it. Also a tag concept. So the QB knows the read progression is an area read. He's always going 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So how we run this one on cross, we'll tag one guy. So in this look, we'll tag the E. This will be E cross for us. The E will have the Usam route for us. Under Sam, over Mike. So he'll get under that Sam linebacker. We really want to push it vertical. We might push it vertical more so than other teams, but we really want to push this vertical to manipulate both safeties. We don't just want to run across the field. We really want to push vertical, even lean to the other way. So he'll lean left, make both safeties get wider, and then he'll snap it across. Aiming point is 15 to 20 yards on the opposite hash. After that, everyone else is built in off of that one tag guy. Play side on this play, based on our protection call, is to the right. So play side number 1, he has a more go, MOR go, mandatory outside release. Backside number 1 here on the left has a post curl. So we'll go for 10, break it 4 steps to the post, and then curl it up, find that open grass. And then our leftover guy. So in this case, it's our R here, our slot receiver. He has to get to the play side flat. So he can run a whip. He can run a walk-off release out route. If he was in a 3-by-1 look on the other side, he would run a shallow route. He just has to get to the play side flat. And then our running back, if we're in a 5-man protection, has a backside flat. If we're in a 6-man protection, he will have a backside check down. QB's read, area read, it's always go, cross, flat, backside. Go, cross, flat, backside. Doesn't matter what the defense does. Always go. If he's open, yes, throw it. If no, go to the cross. Cross is open, yes, throw it. If no, go to the flat. Flat's open, throw it. If not, go backside. Go, cross, flat, backside. Area read for our QB. Keep the progression the same always. So show some clips of this here. So in this look here, the guy we're tagging is our slot up on the right here. All right, so he has the cross. So we want him to get under the Sam, push vertical over the Mike, really push it vertical. We want to manipulate both safeties here. All right, don't just run across right away, because then that backside safety can drive on you relatively quickly and break up the play. So push it vertical, then snap it across. Play side is to the left. So play side number 1 has the more go. Backside number 1, post curl. Leftover guy has to get to the play side flat. Running back would have a backside check down. Progression, go, cross, flat, backside. On this one, if the QB is going to throw the go, he should be rhythm throwing it. The QB, if he's not going to throw the go, we still want him to hold and manipulate the defender. So we want him to look at the go, 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 then snap to the cross because of the timing of it. So these first couple here, we're going to hit the go here. The QB, pre-snap, he's going to look at what he thinks could be the coverage. Based on the shell, it could be cover 2, looking at demeanor, eyes, leverage of defenders. Post-snap, he confirms it. Rhythm throws the whole ball to the go. The biggest thing for that go must be a mandatory outside release. That's going to protect the whole play. If he goes inside, now that corner can get eyes in and see the flat route. And now the safety and corner might get eyes on the cross route as well. So the details of that route are super critical for our guys. Next example here. We're running it to the field, so the cross is going to be coming from the boundary. A lot of times we run it the cross from the field to the boundary. However, we will run it this way if we want to get this one-on-one. We think based on our film study and tendencies, we may get a one-on-one out there. Now we can take that shot on the go. If we don't like the go, maybe the receiver falls. Now the QB just goes through his progression. Go, cross, flat, backside. In this look, we got the one-on-one we wanted. QB can take that shot. So now we're going cross to the offensive left. So this is the guy we tag, under Sam, over Mike, snap it across. Play side number one has the more go, backside number one, post curl, leftover guy flat, running back check down. This is one now where we're going to go to the cross. Great job by the play side number one on the more go, trying to get the mandatory outside release. He actually throws down the corner a little bit, but in doing so, he manipulates the safety and makes the safety, who's already off the hash pre-snap, even work more off the hash. In doing that, he's creating more grass for our cross route to run to. The QB here is going to manipulate with his eyes, staying on number one. Again, the QB, as he's thinking, he's probably going to say to himself, go, go, go for the timing of it, and then snap his eyes to the cross. We don't want to rush ourselves to the cross route on this one. We talk with our QBs a lot about manipulating defenders. The look off for us is just staying true to your read progression. So our QB is not going to look off a safety and then just go the other way. For him, looking off the safety is staying true to the area read, holding it on number one, manipulating the safety, then snapping his eyes to number two, which is the cross route here. So you'll see here, QB does a nice job holding the go. We would like the cross runner here, and I'll bring it back. We would like the guy running the cross to push vertical a little bit more, because he might even create more space and give more time to the QB if he pushes a little more vertical before snapping it across. But great read, great throw by the QB. Great job staying true to his read progression, manipulating the play side safety. Here's another one now, running it from the field to the boundary. This is going to be a really great cross route by the field slot here. He really pushes this one vertical. This one, you want to notice the play side number one on the go. He doesn't run a more. He goes inside. In doing so, he allows the corner to get eyes in now on everything else going on. Whereas if he moors it, that corner's probably going to turn his back, try to get hands on, and now he can't see anything else. And in doing so, going inside, he makes this safety not have to work so far out. Luckily, it's a great route by the cross, great read and throw by the QB that we're still able to hit the cross. But we really need that to be a more go. Another big coaching point on this one for us is on the backside post curl. This guy can widen a little bit on his alignment. You know, again, going back to creating time and giving ourselves more space. He knows he's the last read or a late read in the progression. Let's spread the defense out even more. Give yourself good splits. We mess around with our splits quite a bit, bumping them in, moving them out. You know, so there's really not going to be many tendencies, because sometimes we'll bump it all the way out to stay out there. Sometimes we're bumping it all out to give ourselves more room to run inside. So if the defense is going to guess, you know, it's a 50-50 at best if they're going to be correct on it. Are we going inside or outside based on our alignment? Because we're going to do both so much. Here's just going to be another one. Run the cross from the field to the boundary. Just give you one more look at it. This was another good cross route by that receiver. Again, pushing it vertical. And then you can add some variations to it. Again, what's the arm talent of your quarterback? So this variation for us, the field slot is still going to be the cross runner. Play side number one still has the more go. Now backside number one, instead of running the post curl, he's going to run the post over the top. Leftover guy still has the play side flat. Running back still has the backside check down. We read this exactly the same way last year when we ran this route. It was still go, cross, okay? And now on the cross, if the safety jumped the cross, you know, drove down on it, which we get quite a bit in our style of offense, now the QB would take the post as the third read over the top. If your QB doesn't have that arm talent, then maybe you just want to read it top down, the cross and post side as the first read. You know, just read that deep divide on that safety. For us, our QB was able to do it as the third read because of his arm talent, so we kept it consistent as just normal cross when we had this post tag to it. Still part of the C family or cross family. So he's looking go, doesn't like the go, snaps his eyes to the cross right now. You can't really see it on the screen, but this safety drove down on the cross. He knows now he has the one-on-one backside post, give our guy opportunity to go up and get the ball. Still an area read. He knows it's go, cross, post, check down. All the same teaching for our guys. The next variation in our C family is choice, all right? You'll see here in the diagram, looks exactly like cross. Pass family, still part of our C family. It is a tag concept still an area read progression. So QB is always going to go 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, so on and so forth. How we do this one now, again, tag concepts. So we're going to tag one guy. We're going to tag the R right here. The R is going to have the choice route. The choice route for us, he's going to read first defender, head up to inside of him. So this backer, if that backer is in, we'll break out. As we break out, we need to peek the next defender, the corner. If that corner goes, then we're going to continue going on the out route. If that corner sits, then we're going to sit in this vacated area. Bring it back to the snap again. This defender is outside of us or runs out. Now we go in on the choice route. Everyone else, it's cross. Okay, everyone else is cross. So play side number 1 still has the more go. Backside number 1 still has the post curl. Now the leftover guy is the cross runner, and he'll be opposite the choice. He has the Usam, under Sam, over Mike cross route. Running back still has the backside flat or backside check down. QB's read progression now is I'm going to pre the go. What I mean by that is if we have the one-on-one matchup, we want pre-snap, cover 0, cover 1 matchup, maybe they're bringing some pressure, we can take that go if we like it. If we don't like the go, now we can go to the choice as the first read, even versus pressure. We might still get that one-on-one in a cover 0, cover 1 type of scenario. But again, pre the go. If I like it, I'll take it. If I don't like that pre-snap, now post-snap, I'm going to go through my area read progression. And it's going to be choice, cross, backside. So QB knows choice, cross, backside. Choice, cross, backside. Doesn't matter the coverage. If I'm going to my post-snap progression, area read, choice, cross, backside. All the same teaching for the routes as cross. So we'll see some examples of it here. So this one, we're tagging the boundary slot as our choice route. So he's going to read first defender, head up to inside. That guy pre-snap, let's see his leverage. He's inside of me, so I already have the leverage I want. So unless he flies out post-snap, I know I'm probably going to break this one out. We get the pre-snap read, never predetermined though. Although we have leverage right now, he might fly out, so now I got to read it on the fly and break in. Play side number 1 has the more, backside number 1 post curl, leftover guy has the cross, running back, backside check down. So QB here, he doesn't like the pre-snap go. Again, corner at about 5 yards, safety over the top, 5 yards outside the hash. We don't have the one-on-one. So not looking there at all. His eyes are not going to go there. Post-snap. Post-snap, he's immediately going to the choice, to cross, to backside. Here, the choice runner reads the defender. He stays in, breaks it out. We would really want this guy, or 100% want this guy to run a more. You can see here he goes inside the corner. In doing so, just like on cross, now this corner gets eyes on everything. Most importantly, he's getting eyes on our choice runner, and he can maybe come up and break the pass up or really lay a big hit on our receiver. Fortunately, in this case, he doesn't on this play. This is great for us, second and medium, third and medium, fourth and mediums. Again, you're going to get a great slot receiver on a linebacker, so probably a better matchup for the offense in that case. Create that one-on-one. If they bring some pressure, you have options, whether you like the go or post-snap, choice, cross, backside. Here now we're going to the choice up top, slot receiver. Again, a good matchup versus a linebacker. You can see here it's about 3rd and 5 here. Really good job if you look at the play side number 1 on this one, getting that more release. In doing so, the corner now turns his back. QB knows he has the one-on-one. This receiver, though, he made the play. He protected the family. He protected the play by running the more. He knows he's not going to get the ball. They even have a safety over the top, but he's demanding that corner to turn his back, making the safety get over the top. In doing so, now the safety over the top. Let's say we didn't like this route because the linebacker sat hard on it. Now the cross route would have a lot more space to run to because our play side number 1 ran the more, made the safety work harder off the hash. It all ties together. If a defender takes away a previous read, we should always have somebody replacing that defender with our style of offense. make them cover the entire field every play. Let's get 5 guys out on routes. And then we can run it at an empty. So here's just a look at an empty, running it up top to the left. Just wanted to put this on here because it's still the same, even if it's at an empty. Now, instead of a running back check down, we just have the backside slot running the out route. Again, making them cover the entire field steal. Nothing changes for our QB. Next, just going to go through some of our mesh stuff. And the reason I want to show this now is to show how the reads can be simple, although there's multiple variations. Our mesh family, still an area read progression, still a yes, no thought process for our quarterback. Just like cross. So here's our 2x2 mesh, pass family mesh, tag concept, yes, read progression area. So he knows he's always going 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, doesn't matter the coverage. And we could do a whole clinic just on mesh. So if anyone wants to talk more about cross, more about mesh for Verts, please, I'll give you my info at the end of this. Would love to talk more about any specific family. Really just want to show the teaching of it and how we try to make it simple for our quarterback. So how we do mesh, tag concept. So in this look here, we're going to tag the R. So this would be R mesh for us. The guy we tag has what we call the mosh, M-O-S-H, mosh, mesh over the top. He's going to set that mesh at 6 yards. Over the top, he's reading defender opposite of him. So probably this linebacker over here. If that guy sits in zone, we're going to sit in zone. If that guy's in man, chasing the other mesh runner, then we're going to keep it on the move. All right, but he's the mesh over the top, setting the mesh at 6. Right? From there, everyone else is built in off of it. Play side is to the right based on our protection here. Play side number 1 has the option route for us. QB and the receiver with that option can run a fade, a corner, or a post. All right, based on the pre-snap demeanor, eyes, leverage of the defenders. Backside number 1, post curl again. So to 10, break it 4 steps to the post, and then curl it up, right? First receiver opposite the tag guy. So we tag the R, first receiver opposite the E. He has the mush, the mesh underneath, M-U-S-H. So he's going to go right off of the mosh runner. He's going to read defender opposite. So this linebacker, that linebacker sits in zone, we'll sit. That linebacker runs in man, then we'll continue running. Okay. Our running back has a play side flat here. We're going to try to do this most of the time with our 5-man protection. Our running back, a play side flat. How we teach our flat routes, and I think this is critical on this play, our aiming point for our running backs is 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. A flat route, it's an arrow. We don't want to bow it into the line of scrimmage. The reason being is the QB is going to get it to him very quickly sometimes. The progression for the quarterback on this play, mesh, it's option, back, mesh, backside. So option to the back, to play side mesh as 3, to backside as 4. And I'll try to show a few different clips of this. So here we are, we're going mesh to the right, offensive right. So we tagged this receiver here. So he has the mosh, mesh over top. He's going to read defender opposite. So this linebacker, man or zone. First receiver opposite is going to run the mush, mesh underneath. He's reading defender opposite. So the guy I just underlined. Play side number 1 has the option, fade, corner, or post. In this look here, the QB ended up giving him the fade. Backside number 1, post curl, running back flat. Area read. Okay, so progression order never changes. Yes, no thought process. It's always option as 1, back as 2, play side mesh as 3, backside as 4. So in this look here, pre-snap, QB's probably thinking, I don't know if I'm going to have that option. Safety on the hash to the field can very easily get over the top of this. Post-snap, he doesn't move at all. QB knows he has one-on-one here. Our 6'5 receiver versus their corner. I'm going to take that go ball, that fade ball. If that safety worked over, QB would go back, mesh, backside. Again, if you're throwing the first read of your progression, a rhythm throw. As that foot hits the ground, that ball should be coming out. Another look there, just throwing the fade. I'm going to go through these so we can show some clips of hitting everything, and then so we can get to 4 verts and just show how we teach it. So I'm going to skip ahead on a bunch of these here. And these are all our 2x2 ones. Here, we're in a 2 tight set here. The variations doesn't matter what formation you're in. We can draw any formation up right now. We can make up a formation and tag one guy, and all of our skill players, quarterbacks, should know the read progression and should know the routes based on the rules of the play. So this is mesh to the left. Just want to show this one because, again, out of a 2 tight set, so you can really see, you can create that one-on-one. You have a good option runner out here. You want to manipulate to get this one-on-one. That's the first read for us, is the option route. We give the corner out here in this look. So we're creating that one-on-one. Can bench them with the throw always. Now it's going to show a couple where we get to the running back here. And you'll see how quickly, I want to show some of these because you'll see how quickly we get to it. It's almost a rhythm throw when we throw it to the running back. As the QB's reading the option, if he doesn't like it, this is very different than cross, where in cross we want to hold it, manipulate the D by holding it with our eyes. In mesh, we want to quickly get to the next read. It's option, back, mesh, backside, quickly. So you'll see here we're going to the left. The QB, he gave the fade up top, that safety, or excuse me, that corner drops deep. We don't like it. So you'll see this ball is out immediately as he's hitting his third step. He's getting that ball to the back in space, make that outside linebacker tackle our running back in space. If that outside linebacker flew out, again, this goes back to we should always have someone to replace defender. So we're reading the go. We gave him the go as the option. We don't like it. Well, now we need someone to replace that area, our running back. If the linebacker takes away the running back, well, now we have the mesh guy replacing that linebacker. So we always have somebody to replace the previous defender who takes away the previous part of the progression. Makes it very simple for our QB to manipulate with his eyes and just go through his progression in our area reads. Another one just going up to the left. Just want to show this one again, how quickly we get it to the running back. Makes mesh a very versatile play. It's a first down play for us. It's a third down play for us. Right now, a couple clips just getting the ball to the mesh runner now. All right, so now we tag this guy here. So he's the mosh, mesh over top, setting it at 6, reading defender opposite. First guy opposite is the mush underneath. And you'll see our guy should even slap hands when they're running it. He's reading defender opposite, so this defender. Play side number 1 as the option. In this look, we gave him the corner, trying to just get that one-on-one if they're in their quarters type look to that side of the field. Backside number 1, post curl, running back, play side flat. Read progression, option, back, mesh, backside. In this look here, we end up getting it to the play side mesh. Our play side mesh runner, you'll see they clap hands here. He was reading this defender. We do give them the freedom to settle up as soon as they see fit, so he doesn't even work all the way out. We talk a lot about ball placement with our QBs and receivers. Our QB, and we practice this every day in our perfect drill, ball placement. He needs to throw it to the shoulder that he wants the receiver to turn to. So this look, he wants to throw it to this right shoulder of the receiver to protect him from the linebacker so he can catch it, knife it, get vertical right now, and get 3 extra yards. And just one more here of throwing it down to the mesh runner. So you'll see here, just really want to focus on the mesh runners, all right? Because again, we're looking option. We didn't like the option. They're double teaming the option. Next read would be the running back flat. Linebacker flew out with the flat. Don't like that. Well, now we have our mesh runner, right? Replacing. He reads zone. He should settle up in that open grass. QB protect them with the throw. And then this is what we teach. You're not going to get the first down. Fumble it to your running back so then he could get the first down. That's the new one we just put in the playbook. We have other variations, 3x1, our rule for 3x1, and just going to go through it quickly so we can show how we teach 4 verts and how it's different a defender read. How we teach 4 verts, all the same exact stuff. Everyone is the same. So in this case, we would tag the E. The E has the mosh, mesh over top. First guy opposite has the mush. The X here would have the mush. Play side number 1 has the option. Running back still has the flat. Now, the only rule now is there is no backside number 1 that's not part of the mesh. So the leftover guy, he has what we call a 10-yard OTB over the ball. Progression now for the QB. It's still the mesh family, still a tag concept, still an area read. It's still option, back, mesh. Now, as he scans, he knows he has an OTB to backside. So it's still option, back, mesh, OTB, backside. This allows us some flexibility of it. You can do a lot of 3x1 with it. And I'm not going to show these clips just with timing purposes of it all. But that OTB, I'll show just the clip of the OTB because it really opens up the middle of the field. We're trying to get 3 guys creating a triangle there, our 2 mesh runners and our OTB, and there should probably only be 2 middle linebackers there at best. Again, create numbers to give ourselves an advantage. So you'll see on this one, we end up hitting the OTB on this one. We can motion the running back. You'll see here we do a little quick motion just to try to give away a coverage potentially or some leverage of defenders. Option, back, mesh to OTB. OTB opens up. A lot of flexibility on this play. We probably run it mesh overall 5, 6, 7 times a game because of 2x2, 3x1, add tight ends. We have other variations of it where we add, and I'm not going to go through these ones because of time, but we add wheels to it, whether it's running back wheels, receiver wheels, post wheel. However, it doesn't matter adding those variations because it's still the mesh family, still an area read. So it's still very simple for our QB to process it, to play instinctively, to play fast, fast physically, fast mentally. And then now just our 4 vert family, and I'll go through this quickly. Would love to talk more with anyone that would like to at another time as well. But this is now a defender read, if-then thought process. So now the route progression order can change. How we read 4 verts. It's going to be play side or backside. So it's a 4 vert family, not a tag concept, so defender read. It's a defender read on the play side safety. Our play side safety, our play side is to the right in this look. So it's a defender read on this safety for both the QB and our play side number 2. So the R in this look. They're both looking at that safety. If that safety stays wide, we're going to bend it in, probably going to be a middle field open look. Again, it could be a 1 high look still for us. Maybe they just bump the 1 high safety to the right side of the field, but he's still wide. So we're going to, again, let's chase that open grass. So it's defender read play side safety. He stays wide. We're going to bend it right over the linebacker's head. If that safety rolls down or to the middle of the field, we're going to keep it +3 outside the hash. All right. Our backside number 2 always has a +3 outside the hash. And what I mean by +3 is 3 yards outside the hash for the spacing of it. And then both of our number 1s have a read vertical. A read vertical for us is they're reading man turn or zone turn. If the corner is in a man turn, so turning his back to the QB, looking at the man in man-to-man coverage, we're going to run the vertical. If the corner is in zone, so it's back to the receiver, looking in at the zone, now we're going to run a get open comeback. We want to really get on that guy's toes. Again, it's probably going to press it to, 14, 15 yards and then break it on the comeback. And our comebacks for the get open comebacks, we break it in and then work back out. So now wherever the QB throws the ball, we can get it. QB's read now quickly. Defender read, play side safety. All right. If that defender stays wide, QB is going inside to the bend, to outside, to check down. And our check down is an OTB over the ball. The reason we do that is so if the middle linebacker drops deep, we have the running back replacing. But defender read, defender stays wide, bend to outside to check down. If that defender rolls middle or rolls down, now we're going play side seam to backside outside. So you can see the defender read. If the defender does something, then I do something. A little different thought process than our area reads. So here, we're going 4 verts to the right. So our play side number 2 is going to have the defender read on the play side safety, just like the quarterback does. Safety's wide. So this receiver is thinking I'm going to bend it in. That safety stays wide. I keep leverage on him. I'm going to bend it in Boom. If that safety rolls down or to the middle of the field, now I'll keep it as a vertical plus 3 yards outside the hash. Backside number 2 should be plus 3 outside the hash. And then both number 1s have our read vertical, reading man turn, run the go, zone turn, run the get open, come back. In this look here, that safety stays wide, so middle field stays open. QB's read inside, outside, check down. Inside, outside, check down. We really want that bend runner also to run around that linebacker like he does here. This is a great route by that guy. Want him to get skinny, turn his back to him so they can't get hands on. Would like our backside slot to be a little wider outside the hash for some spacing purposes. Here's another one. We're running it up top to the left. You can't even see the safety. He's super wide. QB inside, outside, check down. And I'll try to just show a couple clips of this. Really wanted to show the 4 vert family though, just because the teaching is different for the QB. Defender read. So we're reading a defender. If they do something, then I do something. Much different than our area read progression. As you see here, the route progression order can change based on what the defenders do. Play we run a lot though. Our QB has the arm talent to make the downfield throws. He can make the bend throw, the seam throw, the get open comeback throw. So our read bend guy, we want him to go outside this linebacker 9 times out of 10. The one time we don't is this look here. That's why I wanted to show this quickly. If this defender lines up so far outside, again, let's talk about leverage. He's way outside. I'm already winning my route. He can't get hands on me. Then I can just beat him inside right now like we do here. Defender read, we're going to the left on the play side safety. If he stays wide, QB's thinking inside, outside, check down. In this look here, the inside is open now. Rip it to the inside. Show one here where we get it. Again, 3rd and 15 here. We're going up top to the left. QB's going to read it inside, outside. Doesn't like the inside. They're in like a Tampa 2 look here. That linebacker gets super deep. He goes outside. You can see our outside guy gets on the toes of the corner. It's a zone turn. He's going to run the get open, come back. If it's 3rd and 15, you got to take that to about 17. So when you run the comeback, you can be at the first down still. Again, you can see it's easy there. The man turn, zone turn has really kept us on the same page. Again, very easy for both the receiver and QB here to see that that corner is turning inside back to the receiver. He's looking at his zone. It's a zone turn. They can easily be on the same page. No miscommunication on what they're doing. If it's man-to-man, cover 0, cover 1, can take your best matchup to either side. We run switch verticals, 3x1, but always a defender read, always the same routes, always the same progression. Can really keep our guys on that same page to create that alignment. Here's a man look. If it's man-to-man, cover 0, cover 1, just take your best matchup on either outside. Built-in answers, though, if they're bringing pressure, man, zone, area read, defender read has really simplified it for our quarterbacks, keeping it in the pass families, cross family, mesh family, 4 vert family. You add in our smash family, drive family, shallow family, whatever families we run allows our guys to play instinctively, to play fast, physically and mentally, to play physical. Keeps us all on the same page, aligns us all in one direction. Really thank everyone for hopping in today. Would love to connect more. We still are recruiting for the class of 21 as well. A little plug for FDU. We have 28 New York players on our roster. As I said at the beginning of this talk, I'm a New York native. I still live in New York. Would love to get more New York guys at FDU. I live in Westchester County right now, about an hour from FDU. But Section 9, we have a bunch of guys from. Some of those guys only live 45 minutes from campus. So would love to get more New York guys. We have New York City guys on our roster. We just dropped tuition by 25%. So financially going to be super competitive. We're rolling admission so they can apply at any time, but really appreciate it. Also, just started hosting a podcast as well, Fast 5-Star Podcast. We're on about episode 6. It drops every Friday. Been a ton of fun. I'm learning a lot personally. Tomorrow's guest is Charles Huff, the new coach at Marshall, national champion from Alabama last year. Just interviewed him right before I hopped on this call. Literally ended my conversation with him before hopping on this. Listen to the episode. I learned a ton from it. Been a lot of fun. You can follow us at Fast 5 Star. Here's my email, jimmy_r@fdu.edu, my cell number, my personal Twitter and Instagram. Please reach out, connect, whatever I can do to help you in your program or what our FDU football program can do. Can't thank you guys enough. Can't thank, again, Coach Sirico, Coach Barber for inviting me to do this. A lot of fun. Again, if you have questions on anything we did, please hit me up. I know I was going through it fast. That's the New York in me. That's the Fast 5 Star energy and passion mentality. But again, would love to follow up more. Reach out, hit me up, and really thank you guys for spending an hour, learning a little bit about what we do at FDU.